Hi, today we have our partner and friend Enrico Banchi, and he was a speaker on our conference, and the subject was a very interesting subject, so today we are going to talk about it. So welcome back,
Thank
Enrico.
you. Thank you very much.
It's always a pleasure.
It's always a pleasure, and this time that I've been here for so long, more pleasure. That's the real thing.
Yeah, you had an awesome speech as usual.
Well, you know I like speaking, so it's and I love speaking to audiences that give me the energy that I always have in Romania.
Yeah.
But this time, as you know, the speech was.
It's a different topic.
Yes, it is a different topic. It's a very deep topic with consequences that need to be taken care of. Okay, now more than ever. Okay, and this is about safety.
Yeah. Let's go a little bit deeper. What a company should know about this topic now,
so
or how they can approach it.
You know that we in Scuola di Palo Alto, we always been very attentive to neuroscience, to how to do organization, etc. Now what happened is that in the last years, unfortunately, there has been in Europe, not only in Italy, okay, many accidents. And when some accidents happen to our clients in other projects, and when you go and take a look at the accidents, you see that most of the time, not always, it can get retraced back to a behavior problem.
Yeah.
And now the real question is, how do we concentrate on behaviors and not all the things that companies are doing well, which is the rules, norms, normative, procedures, protocols. They're doing it. So sometimes we have companies in Europe, in Romania, that they say, we don't understand, we do everything. We give all the PPEs or all the things that are mandatory by law. But what can I do if they don't use it? Or what can I do? So, because we, as you well know, are extremely attracted to behavior, human behavior. So we started a long time ago, but a couple of years have been very, very consistent in trying to understand. So the message of the speech today was, we need to understand. But don't mix it up where we need to understand why the accident happened. We need to understand why people is behaving that way, which is much more difficult sometimes to understand the causality of the accident. So we started a project some time ago on that side of the equation. Why people behave the way they behave, and this behavior creates an hazard, and this hazard creates an accident. So let's start behavior. Easy? No. As always, because you know, when there is an accident, even if the accident is in a company or is governmental, like big traffic accidents, the government or even aviation accidents, that thank God right now are very, very, very few. The government comes and they do the investigation. Of course, we all have to investigate accidents. And most of the time, they come up with the solution of more rules, more procedures, more rules, more rules, more rules. So it looks like that more rules sometimes is the good thing to do, sometimes it doesn't work. So we have to go back in terms of causality to the behavior. And when people are starting to talk about behavior, well, we are expert on that, so let's do that. And we have developed a system, and we have some clients, very important clients, that are willing to take the path, to walk the talk, to walk the path.
Yeah. I was wondering if, because you already started some projects,
Yes.
what are people saying after they?
Okay, the first dichotomy,
Yeah.
the first things in, let's take manufacture.
Yeah.
The first not problem, but the first obstacle that I see is these things that you're trying to teach us takes time. Now, that's the main conundrum, the main problem. It takes time, and we don't have the time. Because production, clients, contracts, due dates, deadlines, all these things that we all know, so we don't have the time. And what we are telling us is that we need to communicate, talk, build crosswalks, look at each other. We don't have the time. All right? So the first big, I say in Italiano, say scoglio, the first big impediment, the first big bias, the first big step is to talk to companies, and we've been very fortunate on that, and talk normally with a leader, okay, the board, and try to understand if they are willing to invest the time.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, is not as much as people think, but it is nonetheless time. So it is time. You need to put time in it. Maybe everybody needs to put, let's say, 1 hour a week or half an hour a week. But it's not about what the problem is not 1 hour a week. The problem is 1 hour a week.
Every week.
That's it. Always.
And when they started to do this,
yes,
what is the feeling? What they are doing? What is the outcome that they?
The first feeling about everybody,
Yeah.
with no exception, is that of course everybody wants safety.
Yeah.
Because nobody will say, "Hey, I don't like
We
safety."
don't. Yeah.
The first feeling, of course, we are all into safety, but then when you dig a little bit, just a little bit, you don't have to dig a lot, but when you dig a little bit, it's not as such. Why? Because, and then we go back to the neuroscience, we go back to our biases in our brain. It goes to, you know what? I've been doing this job this way for 20 years and nothing happened to me. Hence,
It will never happen.
yes, exactly like that. And nothing will never happen to me. All right? So you know what? Yeah. This is the 10th time that I go to a safety training, but at the end, this is me, this is my machine. I've been, working with this machine for all my years, for so many years that nothing is going, no, don't worry, nothing is going to happen to me. That's the most difficult part, because they really believe it. It's not something that it just pop up of their mouth. They really believe it. They believe it and nothing is going to happen to them.
Yeah, unfortunately, yeah. And
but we have another approach, which is, I don't have any problem if you think that nothing is going to happen to you, as long as you demonstrate to me that you are working every day for that to occur. So if you tell me, let's say, I'm not going to get sick, all right? Because I want to live long. Everybody wants to live long, okay? But I have some friends. That want to live long, and they smoke, eat very badly, do not exercise. All the things that we should do. It is a possibility they will live long. Yes, it is a possibility. But when you see from the outside, say, well, you're not helping yourself a lot, right? Now, what we want is that I allow you to think that nothing is going to happen to you, but you need to do something about it every day. If you demonstrate that you're doing something about it every day, that you are putting yourself into a safety, in a behavior-based safety, like the behavior are there, then
You can prove.
then you can tell people, if I keep behaving like this, nothing is going to happen to me eventually. All right? But the next problem in company is that you cannot do it by yourself. You need somebody else to help you do it. Because you can scratch your back. You need somebody or something to scratch your back. And safety, especially when you get into stage 4, it depends on teams.
Everybody,
So
must be there.
that's the second problem. The first problem is about time. The second problem, or not problem, no, the first challenge is about time. The second challenge is about people, communication. Every single step that we do in our project is about how to get a habit of the time consumption on safety, and how to get the habit of the communication with others. So we will concentrate on that, and we are sure that the results will be measurable and will be visible to everybody.
Yeah, so go a step in the back, and look at the steps that you have to do in order to be safe.
Yes, no, understand what are the steps of awareness that you need to do. Understand that you have to, in order to live this safety, you need to learn how to do some things, how to behave in certain ways, and not everybody is willing to learn new behaviors, because habits are hard to die.
We know better.
Habits are very hard to die. But we'll try, and normally in the companies it works very well if the willing comes from the top and says, okay, we're doing it, and it works very well if the top is willing to give some demonstration of willing, like stop production, or really make them understand that safety intended as we want to intend it, which is a concept called safety 2. Safety 2 is not something that you can measure, it's something that you have to live by. So as long as they are there and want to go that path with us, that's the way to go to give some results at the end.
Yeah. Well, they know what they have to do in order to get this, so
they do. They have their the company have their homeworks, new way, new style of looking at things. There is a lot of observation. There is a lot of talking. There is a lot of talking.
yeah.
Okay, and there is a lot of understanding that if we get that into the culture, that everything else is going to be much easier. Because remember one thing, habits and motivation to change the habits. So habits will not change if the motivation is strong and is not strong enough. The stronger the motivation, the easier it is to change the habit. The weaker the motivation, the more difficult it is to change the habit.
Well, some companies will have a lot to work.
Yes, some companies will have a lot to work, and we might be happy to do that.
Yeah.
It's part of our job.
Yes. Thank you very much, Enrico. We can talk for hours.
Yes, thank you.
It's a
I can
pleasure.
talk for hours.
Yeah.
All right, thank you.
Always a pleasure.
Thank you very much. Thank you all
And
for this beautiful opportunity.
we will see you at the next event.
I'm going to be here in September again. Okay, absolutely. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.